Ladies and gentlemen, what is up and welcome back to another video. We're just going to jump straight into it. And I want you to understand before we get into this, this is not going to be another informational sort of educational video where it's just giving you tips and tricks. This video is going to be damn near a step-by-step game plan. By the time you get done watching this video and you leave this video, you're going to be able to go and apply and literally go do what I talk about in this video and then be only a few weeks away from printing, making your first sale with a new product, etc., etc. So what we're going to go over in this video are basically the two best or fastest ways that I could think of currently right now in the space for you to get a new product popping off. So if you take at least one of these two routes that we talk about in this video, within the next few weeks, you'll more than likely be printing. Now, these two methods, they're not going to be the most flashy or the coolest thing in the world. You're not going to look like some amazing organic dropshipper. And I'm not saying that this is going to go make you $1 million, but this most definitely can go and make you a significant amount of money and definitely make you six figures or more for Q4. All right, guys, so without wasting any more time, let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. Here are two of the fastest ways to print this Q4. Very first thing is going to be a POD product with storyline concepts. And I'm going to get into that in just a second. I'm going to show you an example so you know exactly what I mean. But if you don't know what a POD product is, it's print on demand. So using something like Printify and of course a private supplier when you scale, or basically you have this plethora of base products that are blank that you can virtually print any design that you want onto it and then drop ship it. So it's kind of the closest thing you can get to a custom product without MOQ. Now, normally the only downside with POD products has been they're super showcasey. So it's kind of harder to go viral with them. It's more like gambling. You're kind of playing with luck if you do end up getting them to pop off. But now with this sort of new method of sticking strictly with storyline concepts, you have more control over actually forcing the product to go viral. So virtually the worst part or the only downside to a POD product has now been removed when you're doing this storyline concept method. And that's why it's so cracked out. Because really any half-assed decent POD product is gonna do at least 1K per mil or more, as long as you are not completely retarded and you actually choose a decent niche and choose a decent design within that niche. And one of the biggest and best POD products to run right now are going to be woven blankets. So let me go ahead and show you guys an example really quick. So first I want to show you what this product actually looks like. These are POD blankets. Okay, so he's went to Printify and then maybe even later on went to a private supplier and he's taken these blankets and then he's finding these pictures on the internet, more than likely. You can also create your own, customize, whatever the case may be. And then you basically just import that into a print-on-demand site like Printify and boom, you can create these products that you're seeing here that he has. From what I'm seeing from him, he definitely just went to the internet and downloaded these photos and then boom, put them on a blanket. Now, if you're still not kind of fully aware of what I'm talking about when I say POD products, I just want you to go look up printify.com, click on that, and then start kind of sifting through it and just navigating it yourself. You'll start to understand what print on demand is. It's a super kind of simple concept. But now that we're kind of up to speed on what a POD product is, I want to show you what the storyline method is. So when you're doing concepts like these that I just showed you, where you're just straight up revealing the product, especially with these super showcasey products, you are just gambling with luck. Now you can get away with this. There are guys I know that have made multiple six figures doing this method where they're just literally walking in frame and showing whatever showcasey product they have. But a lot of the time, unless you're lucky, you just get stuck doing that. You don't get that many views and you don't make sales. And then it kind of all just ends up being a waste of time. But where you can kind of control the outcome more, where you can control the quality of the content more and virtually force it to go viral with actual good content is with storylines. And now there are a trillion different ways you could go about storylines. And I'll show you a few examples. Here's a big one in the space right now. It's just kind of like showing some sort of OnlyFans chick, especially this chick that, destroys cars and stuff. And basically you do the storyline of, she does OnlyFans and she gets X, Y, and Z amount of likes, but my art that I create only gets blah, blah, blah. Then you use these stitch clips that show the creation process of the product. And then boom, just a few simple 0.5 second long clips of you actually showing the product. And now what's great about these storylines is not only are they actually able to give you the ability to actually force a product to go viral with good content because you actually have something more to play with than just revealing the product, but they also almost always end up converting more because there's more emotion involved. It's also a higher converting concept because it includes you implying that you create the product, which if you haven't ever seen any of my other videos, any video concept that you can create that implies sort of overwhelmingly that it's obvious you create the product is always going to be the highest converting video you can create. So then over here we have another example I can show you. Crying girl hook, still kind of going with the I'm not an OF girl sort of vibe. They hit him with the AI clip right there, but you get the gist. Here's another one, right? Girl freaking out over Labubus. So you understand, a storyline concept is not just one thing. It's just virtually you using stitch clips to create a story that sells your product. Now, one thing I will say, do not be like these scammer scumbags all in this space where they're literally lying and doing like, oh my God, donate to my grandpa because he's losing his shelter, or I have a sister with terminal illness, please buy these so I can pay for it. Don't be a loser and a scammer. There is a difference between these sort of just clever marketing where you're just implying you create the product and then you're using other stitch clips, like making a good storyline like this, and just straight up lying, begging for money, and scamming. Now, of course, we're not just going over this method just because I've been seeing other people do it, or even because I have multiple students doing it and printing from it, but I actually went and tested it myself, which you can see here. I'm gonna have my editor kind of just blur out as much as he can where I don't just absolutely wreck myself too much. As you guys can tell, I tried not to leak any of my products. I haven't in a while because it just doesn't benefit me that much. I would much rather me be able to keep making money with my products than like, get people to watch my YouTube or join the Discord or whatever. I would much rather have my own business continue to run. So over time, I realized it just really does not benefit me that much leaking my products as often as I was. But for this, just because so many people already know I run this product, and just because I just genuinely want to put you guys on, and half the reason I did what I did was kind of in the effort to make this YouTube video, I'll go ahead and basically leak the product. Now, I don't recommend you going to run this product. It's pretty saturated. Already all the people that have seen me running it have picked it up. It's gonna be very hard for you to go viral. But earlier this month, I used this product just basically as my own little experiment. I haven't been that focused on it. I'll go off and on posting on it for weeks at a time just because I have so many other products that I'm focused on. But I used this as a little experiment just to see how kind of cracked out this method was. And as you can see here, I only tried 3 little storyline videos, and 2 of them went almost semi-decently viral. And I'll go ahead and just kind of show you guys the example here. And then, of course, this one. Now, I'm not going to show you that just for time's sake, just to not have to go all the way through it. But both of these videos, all of these videos were actually very high converting. Even this 6K view vid, I could guarantee you made at least 2 to 3 sales, which is ridiculous with the normal conversions of organic. But as I said before, with you adding so much emotional depth with the storyline, which already increases conversion rates, but also implying at the same time that you yourself are making them, are why these concepts convert so crazy. So as you can see here, from not even 200,000 views on these storylines, this product's already made $550, which should actually be more like 1K or more. I had a bunch of issues with the website, with Printify connecting this, and I had to switch to a supplier. Then my website guy had the variations fucked up, yada, 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 and it had this horrible conversion rate. So really in general, if we had that normal 1% conversion rate, this should be over 1K, which would put this product combined with these storylines somewhere at 5-ish K per mil. Now, one more thing before we move on to the second thing I want to go over, and this is kind of like to make your life easier. It's honestly a little bit of a life hack. What's great about this is there's so many people out here running these blankets now that you don't have to go out here and find these stitch clips on your own, which you still can. And the more original stitch clips you find, probably the better off you'll be. But what I did, at least, just to save myself the time, I'm not saying rip people's content. I'm not saying just steal people's content. But instead of having to go out and search for all these stitch clips myself, which I would end up using the same as them and probably half the time even putting them in the same order, you can just go to their videos. And this is any random account, not just this account I'm showing you, or it could be any account that's showing the clips that you need. You can go through and download them with a tool called snapins.ai. And then what I did for my few storylines that I created is I would take maybe the hook stitch clip from one, and then another video I downloaded from another account, use that as like the meat and potatoes of the actual creation process. And then maybe one in the middle, kind of like this video right here, where I get into drawing. I got this, I had to go out and find that on my own. But you get what I'm saying. You can save yourself a lot of time with how many other accounts are out there by just downloading their videos through snapins.ai and then mix and matching it. And then of course you have to add your own clips at the end. So I'm not saying steal people's content, but I'm saying you can save your time having to find these stitch clips because other people have already found them for you. Now you might be wondering, Ethan, okay, but they're gonna have their text on screen. How am I gonna use this if I'm running like, you know, some goth blankets or something? How am I gonna use Yet My Star Wars art? If you go into CapCut, there is a tool called like AI Eraser or AI Remover or something like that. You can put all of these into CapCut, like, you know, when you're going to edit your video, and use that tool, and it'll virtually erase the text for you. Then you can put your own text on top of it. Now, if you want to run these and go with this first method here, the best way to do that is going to be to use Printify to at least source your samples to get them the fastest, the cheapest, and the best quality. And if you're US based and have mainly US audience watching your videos, you can get away with only using Printify and still get, you know, 50, 60% margins. But of course, as you scale and you want to start making a higher profit margin and, you know, you end up getting 5% of this country, 10% of this country, and so on and so forth, you're going to want to switch to a private supplier. Now, this is normally where people have the hardest time with POD, is finding a private supplier. So since we're on that topic, for everybody that does want to pull this off, or you just need a POD product supplier in general, we have one inside the MMC. Now, if you don't know what the MMC is, that's my Organic Dropshipping Discord, where it basically has anything and everything you need to print. It's a huge community. You get access to so much in there, it's ridiculous. Other organic dropshippers, you get access to me. We do 1 to 2 weekly group calls where we go over accounts, products, the whole 9 yards. Me and the other coaches are inside. You get access to free subscriptions. You get access to all my teams, all my suppliers, customer support if you need them, email marketing, the list goes on and on. So if you're interested in joining the Money Making Committee, which is my Organic Dropshipping Discord, I'll leave that link down below in the description. And if you're not already in a Discord or you're in a mid Discord, I highly recommend joining, especially for Q4, so you're constantly in the know. And for any little thing that pops up or any issue you have in Q4, you're not just sitting there like a sitting duck, not knowing what the fuck to do. You'll constantly be getting answers from guys like me. But like I said, once again, if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down below in the description of this video for you to join. Now, moving on to number 2. This is going to be advent calendars. Also, guys, really quick, I totally forgot to mention this. This is probably pretty valuable for you guys to know before we move on to advent calendars. Make sure you're picking the proper niche for when you do these blankets. Don't just do random shit like grab a random video game and pick a random scene and just take that photo and put it on a blanket. Actually do your research. Make sure the niche is big enough. Make sure the niche is passionate enough. That's what a lot of people don't understand. You can't just go grab maybe some random show that's popular and throw it on a blanket and think it's going to convert, because sure, a lot of people might like it, but it could be an unpassionate niche. You also don't want to go too niche. You want to be able to encompass the whole market. So to give you an example for that, it would probably be smarter to, let's say you were going to put video games on a blanket. It'd probably be smarter to do a full group, multiple different video games than just focusing on one video game. Then another good example I could give you to help you not make the wrong decision is, let's say you were going to do artists or put like album covers on blankets, which I've seen, which those are good. Let's think about the difference between somebody like Lil Baby, the rapper, and Tyler, the Creator. Both very famous. Debatably, Lil Baby more famous than Tyler, the Creator. The difference is this niche in this market, Tyler, the Creator fans are 10 times more passionate. They're a total different type of personality than the person that would listen to Lil Baby. Think of the people that would listen to Lil Baby compared to Tyler, the Creator. Sure, they're both just as famous. Sure, they're going to have just as many people that like them. Except nobody that genuinely listens to Lil Baby like that is going to want a fucking blanket, right? Think of his demographic. They're going to think it's gay as fuck. They don't care. Plus, that's kind of glazing, whatever. But then when you think of the market for somebody like Tyler, the Creator, they're obsessed with Tyler, the Creator. They have a whole different demeanor to them, a whole different vibe. They're not like this wannabe like thug gangster, like, oh, I'm hard as fuck, I listen to Lil Baby, because they're just a different subset of people. These are little things you want to keep in mind when you go and create your blankets or any POD product for that matter. But now let's get into advent calendars. And if you don't know what an advent calendar is, I'm going to show you in just a second. But I do want to kind of inform you that there are a few caveats to this. One, and the main one, is it's going to be a pump and dump. Understand that after Q4, and really kind of beginning of December, this product will stop making money. And eventually, especially after December, you can go from making a $40K month to $0. So just keep in mind, this is going to be one of those products that you only go and make anywhere from 10 to 100K, I would say max, honestly. It would really surprise me if anybody this Q4 went and made more than 100K with an advent calendar. But you have to understand, if you go to run this product, it's going to be one of those products where you only make 10 to 100K and then you call it quits and it doesn't make any more sales and you're just okay with that. But of course, the upside is this is going to be a really easy product to sell, super easy virality, and it's going to sell like crazy for a very short amount of time during Q4. Now, these are advent calendars, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know about. Virtually all they are a product within a specific niche that goes through 1 to 30 days leading up to Christmas. So you basically pick one little item out of your little advent calendar every day leading up to Christmas. And it's like miniature little gifts that you get to have every day leading up to Christmas. And majority of these are great. Now, do not go and pick some bullshit like, where's a really stupid one? Let's see. Some of these are really good. Cat advent calendar. I don't know. This could hit, but this is probably one of the more ass ones I've seen. National Parks advent calendar. That's actually really not bad. So we're seeing a lot of bangers on here, as you can see. But don't go pick some dumb shit. You know what I mean? Something that's completely irrelevant. Pick one within a niche, and of course, try to find the most passionate niche you can. Like the fishing advent calendar, for example, that did 1 to 2K per mil at peak last year. This World War II aircraft advent calendar, I could actually see these doing good. This is actually a relatively big niche, believe it or not, and this could probably do 1 to 2K per mil. Ice fishing, this is like a subset of actual fishing itself. So this would probably convert a lot less than just in general a fishing advent calendar. Oh, here's a really shitty one. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's the most general, like who's genuinely gonna be like, Mommy, I want a Grinch fucking advent calendar so I can open fucking little minifigures of the Grinch for 30 fucking days. Nobody's doing that, bro. Stay away from this dog shit and just make sure that they're actually in a passionate niche. Damn, I just dropped a bomb on you guys. This is a fucking banger. With that being said, guys, go and take one of these two methods or both of them. Leave this video, go start making your POD products, go and order an advent calendar, whatever the case may be within these next 2 or 3 days. And a few weeks from now, you will have a very high chance of printing, making that first sale on a new product, making your first 10K month, et cetera, et cetera. And don't forget, guys, if you have any questions, just like always, about anything I went over in this video, leave them down in the comments below. And I'll try my hardest to answer every single comment. And of course, any video suggestions that you may have, drop them down in the comments below. Something you want me to make a video on. If it's good enough and there's enough information I can talk about on that subject, then I'll create a video on that. And don't forget, I'll leave the best organic dropshipping Discord on the planet down below in the description of this video. You just click that link and you can join. Hopefully I'll see all of you guys inside. But with that being said, that's all I have for you on today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.